My name's Adam Scott. And if you didn't see it, there's actually a really interesting piece of Christian news in the news right now that has deep historical roots. And the Pope traveled to Turkey recently in the last couple of weeks, and he released a document that said that the filioque is no longer a source of relevant division between the Roman Catholic Western Church and Eastern Orthodox churches. So historically, the creed, the Christian creed from 381, the Niceno-Constantinopolitan Creed came about, and it's a creed that Christians said at the time to profess their faith. In it, there was a statement, and it relates to the Trinity: God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, the identities of God. So the Father was given a point of primacy in that original creed, and the Holy Spirit was supposed to come forth metaphysically from God. Now, what started to happen is the Western European Christian Church, the Roman Catholic Church, was trying to assert political power. The Pope was trying to assert a position of primacy. And the Pope began to work with the Roman Catholic Church, with the Franks. Charlemagne and Western European tribes and kingdoms were becoming more Roman Catholic because it was a source of organization and a source of power. And theologically, it was something that their people were accepting in the West. Now, the Byzantines, which were the historical predecessors of ancient Rome in the East, which is now modern day Turkey, they were extremely powerful, very powerful empire. And they didn't really like this. And they were very, very Christian. And the emperors in Constantinople felt that, wait a second, we as the emperors, we're in charge of Christianity because we are the dominant power in the region, and actually in the world at that time. It was a very large empire. The Byzantines were around for a very long time. So this division started to happen. And then the Western Church began to insert the filioque. So what the Western Church said was, metaphysically, that the Holy Spirit flowed forth from the Father and the Son, from Jesus. And you're thinking, if you're a modern person looking at this going, this is not really that relevant. Like it doesn't really resonate. Who cares, right? Well, here's why it matters. Because that little phrase was inserted, and we're going to ignore the metaphysics for a second, it was actually an attempt politically by the papacy to assert dominance in terms of its political primacies and in terms of its authority, saying, as the papacy, we're going to insert this phrase to change the doctrine of the church. And the Byzantines in the East said, no, you can't do that. We are the primary of the Christian church, and we need to have a religious council to determine what's actually going, like if we're going to change anything. Pope saying, hey, this is not really a relevant source of division. Let's try to have some healing. It's actually a piece of really good news. My name's Adam Scott, master teacher. Let me know what questions you have. I'm glad you're here.